I've been blessed with the space of my grandmother's farm during lockdown. I'm not staying here permanently, but however I'm able to come and go because I have a space here called the cold store, which was an old apple fridge when the farm used to be an orchard. So I'm very lucky. I helped my grandma do the horses and I do her grocery shopping for her. However, some people haven't been so blessed. Simon came to UIL for the term exchange. He's from Denmark and is currently in Washington DC doing an internship at the Danish embassy. He told me about how he's feeling being away from home during this difficult time.
It's a real experience. We're mostly just working from home right now. Actually, we're only working from home. Main feelings right now are I feel like I experience a little bit of loneliness, especially in the evening, because basically all of my friends and family are on the other side of the Atlantic. In America, you have states and you have federal government, and nobody can seem to agree on anything right now. So we'll see.
My friend is Morgan. We met while I was travelling in Sydney and we stayed in the same hostel and we became good friends, and that same night we went on a pub crawl. However, she is French and she lives in Marseille, which is close to Paris. She told me about her studies and how she's coping with the lockdown in Paris.
I am a French university student. I was doing my last year of degree in Barcelona and I had to go back to France in emergency because of the lockdown. So now the situation is complicated because I don't know when they're going to open the borders between the two countries, and I have all my stuff still blocked in Spain. Also, I am following my classes online and I have many exams to do. That's very stressful because the conditions are not the best to succeed. And also in France we are not allowed to go in the streets, and I don't think the situation is going to change, so it starts to be long and stressful.
My friend Anne Harrod, she's currently travelling in Australia and is doing her farm work to help her get her second year visa. She's telling me about being an essential worker and in Australia.
So I'm currently in Queensland, Australia, completing my 80 days of farm work for my second year working visa.
As Australia, here in Bundaberg, Queensland, we're blessed in challenging times like these to have the most amazing environment in the world, growing and harvesting sweet potatoes 52 weeks of every year.
Luckily we're an essential service, so the production of fruit and vegetables keeps going to supply all the shops. When it first broke out, it was quite worrying for all of us as we weren't sure whether we'll still have jobs or anything like that. Luckily we do. We all live in a working hostel, so there's no chance of us to social distance or only going out in pairs. We have to use a certain gate and we always have to wash our hands when we come in, otherwise there'll be fines for cow. A lot of people did actually leave to go home. Stuff, shelves like the UK were all empty. Stuff is much better now, and due to restrictions put in place, a lot of them are now being loosened up.
And finally is my best friend Katie. This time we haven't been able to see each other, and she goes to a different uni, so she's away from her uni house. So she told me about how she's feeling about being home for the first time in nearly 2 years.
How do you feel about this online learning? Is it working for you or not?
Yeah, I think the thing is just motivation, to be honest.
You've gotten used to living not with your parents, and you've got used to like your own routine, like you go to bed like late, you have mates in your room, you drink. Like I suppose it's a bit different now at home.
Kind of go back to being a kid again. Your mum cooks your dinner, cleans your clothes, and it's just like it's nice, but you think, it's a kind of like a few steps backwards. Like you're going back to being sort of 15, 16.
Happy to see that some people are coping with lockdown better than others. I think a lot of people are finding it a strain on their mental health, and as students we are not used to being contained this much. However, soon if we all apply to the guidelines provided by the governments, hopefully it will be over and we can go back to partying pretty soon. This is Gregory, Students on Lock.